Om Namo Narayana. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Om. Shiva Hum. Om. Welcome to another Satsang with your host Chuck the Yogi from the Yogi Cave on this hot and sweaty day. Let us continue with the Kaula Jnana Nirnaya, and with the caveat that I'm just giving out the information. As I've said before, one should find proper supervision before dealing and delving in these matters, and some may or may not do these things literally at some point in their sadhana. I'm not one to judge one way or the other, but like I said, everybody has to understand that this is a historical document and a blueprint as much as anything else. And it's important to glean the essence of Tantra. But yes, Tantra does get into certain things that could be deemed controversial and so forth and so on. But again, I'm just providing the information. So, caveat emptor. Anyway, so let us continue with the Kaula Jnana Nirnaya. One should consume blood and semen, whether that's literal or figurative, I'll leave it up to you, out of which the body of mortals is formed. This is the oblation relished by Siddhas and Yoginis. Now when they say blood, they're talking mainly about menses. The meat is very appreciated by the Shakinis. Nowadays, not so much so. This is relegated to certain areas and certain sects, but it was very prevalent over 1,000 years ago. The goddesses are fond of baka flowers, Shiva's water, urine, blood, semen, wines, saliva, Brahma, fragrant flowers, perfumes, incense, music, betel leaves, and red garments. The Siddhas and gods are pleased with the offering of protective items like red-colored ones, or whatever's offered with knowledge. That's important. Whosoever gives only vegetarian foods adds 3 more reincarnations to himself. How about that? You don't hear that much anymore, do you? Greed and unsteadiness always brings disgrace to the Kula Shastra. There's a legend that Vishnu, in order to try humanity, came as a prophet or avatar that encouraged vegetarianism. Take that as you will, but I myself am currently pretty much vegetarian, and I've been so for many, many years, at least since I was 39. But at one point I was eating meat, and at one point I was drinking, and at one point I was doing other things. But like I said, these are things that could be done for a period of time. The importance is the idea of attachment, or the idea of being in a state of samarasa, no matter what you're doing. So don't get caught up in the details here, because the devil's in the details. Seeing and touching the blood of one's own Shakti and performing sexual intercourse according to the knowledge of the Kaula tradition brings siddhis within 6 months. Now most people are just having sex, right? When they say Tantra, they say sex, but we're not talking about that. This is something different. That's why I'm saying be cautious and obtain proper supervision, because it's easy to fall down the deepest hell over misinterpretation. Shiva's water emanated from the primordial mantra and is Brahma itself, Brahma. One should consume it, and by this practice one will be united with the Yoginis, and the Yogis off and on here and there still practice those types of tapasya, I guess you could call it. With the same urine, one should wash one's feet and face by one's own will. One will rise to Brahman consciousness. Now you have to remember also, like, the yogis were out in the jungles, up in the hills. They didn't always have access to fresh water, so practices like this could have emerged in those types of situations, and Asia is vast. So you could go on for days and days without fresh water and so forth. So these are things that have to be taken into consideration. Urine received from the son of an adulteress or from a bastard should be used for a mark on the forehead. Not done much anymore, is it? This will cure 80 types of ailments caused by vitiation of the winds or leprosy. And all sorts of ailments slip away as a serpent shreds its skin. One becomes as brilliant as the rising sun and dear to the yoginis. One conquers all the 3 worlds and the gods such as Brahma, as well as others. All this is the result of the oblations according to the non-dual path. Non-dual, Advaita. You can call this an extreme form of Advaita if you want, but it's Advaita nonetheless. All Devi, all these should be practiced once established in one's willpower. Without the willpower, everything is just deception. Now has been revealed the knowledge of the oblation of non-duality. Chapter 12. Devi said, O Bhairava, I feel thrilled. My mind is delighted and satisfied. I ask you again. Now I would like to know about the related items of food which are allowed. Kosher. I would like also to know the characteristics of those eligible for initiation, the ways of acting in the Kaula. Bhairava said, O Virachamunda. Now listen to the way of acting of the eligible adherents. Firstly, he may behave childlike. Blessed be the children, for they are the kingdom of heaven. Secondly, he may behave like a lunatic. Crazy wisdom. Thirdly, he may behave like a monarch. Fourthly, he may act as if he were unconscious. Fifthly, he may act as if he were totally disengaged from the world. Sixthly, he may behave like the Lord of Heroes. Seventhly, he may act like those who live in the heavens. Eighthly, he may act as a naked ascetic, one who has renounced the world and who sports the trident, Trishul. Or he may act as one who sells knowledge. So there you go. They can be anywhere. That's the bottom line. They don't have to wear the yogi bling and all that. O noble one, knowing both the akula and kula of the Devi, whatsoever would be the desires of such a person, that should be his vow or practice is Varata. One that is a practitioner should worship Bhairava, who is endowed with all the siddhis according to this kula. And Bhairava is the lord of the Gauris. Bhairava is the one that deals with the heavy stuff, so it makes sense. He should also honor his own guru thrice daily with full attention of mind. He should offer his mind, actions, words, and everything he owns to his guru if he desires to obtain both desires and liberation, because that's the way it was back then. To grow in the non-duality, one should be devoted to the Kaula Gamas and should perform the practices with full consciousness, according to the non-dual path. Devi said, O Lord of Gods, I have learnt through your grace the ways of the practices. Now I question again about the characteristics of the receptacles. Patra. Bhairava said, O Devi, listen with undivided attention to the rules about the Kaulika vessels. They can be made of clay, tortoise shell, bell, metal, copper, conch shell, glass, horn, wood, or stone. In other words, natural ingredients. The best one of all these is made of a skull of Vishvamitra, a kapala. If one drinks or eats from this vessel, one becomes a lord of lords or even superior to that. One should drink wine from a huge vessel made of a coconut shell. Only if such a vessel is not available should one drink wine from any other vessel. Well, Devi, the types of vessels and ways to practice have been narrated to you. Now tell me, what else would you like to know? So the Kapalikas and the Gauris still have this in common, of using the skull cup. Devi said, O Lord of the cosmic sound, the Nada, my birth has become meaningful today. Through your grace, I have learned the essence of the knowledge. Chapter 13. Bhairava said, O noble lady of the heroes, the Vedas, listen to the wisdom as to which living beings attain liberation in both the above and the below. One should pronounce hum sa, as if one were the being of all beings. Hum sa, both movable and immovable. By hearing this, one becomes enlightened enough to attain liberation. Enlightened enough to attain liberation. Not everybody achieves that Mahasamadhi, but they can be prepared for it. They can use this lifetime to prepare themselves for that. After knowing the secret which pervades all the three worlds and in which the cosmos is established, one obtains omniscience. Without knowing this, nobody is liberated. No action is possible without this knowledge. No auspicious or inauspicious deeds are possible. How about that? The sword can cut both ways. It can heal, and it can send to hell. For one who can't realize the vibrating mind and the calm state of mind, no test nor thought would be possible. One who detaches his mind from activity attains emancipation in this life, becomes Jivan Mukta. I'm going to leave it there for now. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Om. Shivoham. Jai Ma. Jai Mahakal. Jai Bharavar. Till next time.